Fauci and the ongoing COVID cover up, lies, BS, all the nonsense that's been thrown at us. I haven't talked about this for some time. I want to give credit to Rand Paul's been trying very hard to actually bring or hold Fauci accountable, but he's not getting any help from anybody in Congress. They're really not interested. If they would, they'd actually go after the guy. It's you pile up all of the lies, everything we were told, the BS that we were thrown at with this guy. Yeah, this guy had the nerve to show up at Cheney's funeral, sitting next to Rachel. It just, again, it's I mentioned, it was like the Spectre funeral, okay, from a James Bond movie there. But anyway, the Food and Drug Administration Commissioner, Dr. Marty Makary, accused Fauci of orchestrating a massive cover-up of the origins of COVID-19. Obviously worked very hard. We know a lot of this already, to suppress the whole Wuhan lab leak theory. One thing that's extremely obvious that few people realize, and certainly hardly anyone in the medical establishment where I come from realized, is that Fauci was involved in a massive cover-up of the origins of COVID, a massive cover-up. He was this guy's was a professor at Johns Hopkins. Whether or not he was involved in the experiments or funding the experiments that led to them, he was clearly 100% involved in the cover-up. But the thing is, there's a paper trail. And if he was involved in this, they should be able to find out. The House Oversight Committee released evidence showing that he approved a February 2020 scientific paper of the proximal origin of SARS-CoV-2, which appeared aimed at refuting the lab leak hypotheses. I can go on and on and on. I'm not going to get further into it. Quite frankly, do I expect any justice? No, not in this country that we live in, because there isn't any justice. Moderna, this just came out. Moderna and Pfizer, and again, they're off the hook. They're off the hook. They've got immunity. They've got immunity. They killed kids with the mRNA COVID shots that didn't work. This is part of their study, and they didn't tell anyone about it. Again, we can also take a look at the various different therapies that were being applied at the hospitals, which were absolute failures. The things that were put forward, how these hospitals were encouraging people to be admitted because they were getting paid off based upon this. Fauci's like everybody else in DC. I cover all of these stories here, corruption again and again and again. Think of that the scene. It was in Lethal Weapon 2. They remember the South Africans were the bad guys in that, and the South African diplomats, and they had the head of the embassy there, the ambassador. I have diplomatic immunity. Well, that's, I've got diplomatic immunity, and where their country of origin is a swamp. Prove me wrong. Watchdog on wallstreet.com.